All right, this is fun. I'm going to assume that I'm live. I've got no comments off to the side. This whole program is all of a sudden decided to go weird on me tonight. So I'm not seeing anybody's comments out there, sadly. And I want to make sure. Yeah, we are live. Okay. Let's hold on, folks. I'm still this is a mystery to me why this is happening today all of a sudden. I may have to go without your comments today, and that's very sad. Oh wait, it came back on. All of a sudden you guys are talking now. Susie, thank you very much. I am here. Okay. Have we gone past? Okay, you know what? We're going to start all over again. Let's pretend that the last 5 minutes didn't even happen. Denial is sometimes a good thing, folks. Okay, so I'm going to rerun the whole intro here. Pretend this is just normal. There we go. Good. It's a good thing nobody pays me to do this show because I think I'd be fired. I'd be losing sponsors. Here we go with our song, everybody. COVID-19, yeah. It is to me. I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. Oh, I'm so sorry, folks. I don't even have a snack. Hey, coronavirus, I want my life back. Yes. Okay. I think we have fixed this. My deepest apologies. My deepest apologies as well to my guest who is standing by waiting for me ever so patiently. Dr. Patricia Rocklin is standing by. She's from the Center for Mindfulness Studies, and we're going to be talking about meditation. We're demystifying meditation, and we are going to tell you you don't need to have any really special talents or anything. Everyone can meditate. So I'm not saying you don't have any special talents. Oh, this show is going horribly wrong, Patricia. I'm sorry, but we're going to join Dr. Rocklin in just a moment. I wanted to talk to you about something. I wanted to start off today by thanking you. It sort of hit me today that I'm always asking you, I want you to talk about what your blessings are. What is good? What is positive? Because that definitely will help. It's a type of meditation. It will also help in your day-to-day. It will make you more positive. And so I was thinking today, what are my blessings? And you folks, you people, every single one of you, I want to thank you. You've given me reason. You have given me reason to shave, to brush my teeth. I don't know what I would do without you. I honestly don't. I love doing this. It has become quite a community, and it is something that's very important to me now. Doing this every night is important. It can be a strain sometimes, but for the most part, I look forward to it. I have a good feeling when it's done. And I have you to thank for it. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for sticking with me and spending your evening with me, at least part of it, for a while. It's important. It's important. And let me just, I recognize so many of these names now. Yeah, Mike, I recognize you. Yeah. You know what? Instead of just saying thank you, I don't want anybody to thank me, okay? I don't want that. I want you to start telling me what your blessings are right now, off the top of your mind. What is good about what happened today? What is good about your life? What is making you positive? What can you concentrate on? So come on, let's go. I want to see that. I want to put some of those comments up here right now. Just waiting for them to come in. Same feeling. Hold on. Same feeling from Susan. My family. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle starting it off. Shirley, I do appreciate that. Let me see. Keep on. Okay, there we go. My two sons and my grandson. I'm trying to grab the comments as they go by, and they're coming by so quickly. All together, yeah. You know what? Some people are thankful for this little group that we have developed. Oh my gosh! You do not believe how fast this is going. This is great. You know what it means? It means you people are thankful for things. The sunshine, my dog, my daughter got her 3D
printer. I was trying to bring that up. There we go. My children, grandchildren. My kids have played nicely together all day. Okay, keep going, folks. Keep going. I want you to concentrate on the good. I want you to concentrate on the wonderful and the things that make you at least feel like getting up in the morning, because there's nothing worse than not wanting to get up in the morning. Take that from someone who lives with depression, that there are some, it's a horrible feeling when you have nothing to look forward to this morning, tomorrow, the next day. That's why we were saying before, one of the important things you need to do is make some plans. Make some plans for a day, 2 days down the line. Okay, I wanted to share this with you. This is absolutely beautiful. This came to me from Pat Finlan. She has a granddaughter who's 3 years old. Her name is Willow. She also has a son, I presume it's Willow's father, who runs a media company called Door Knockers Media, and they've given me permission to run this. This is a public service announcement, a commercial that they got their daughter to do for reminding people to stay at home, and it's so precious.
My name is Willow. When I grow up, I want to be an astronaut and go to all the planets. Jupiter, Mercury, Venus. I like to see Mars. Earth is my favorite. I built a spaceship to travel to the future. I learned if we stand aside, everything is going to be okay. Please stay home if you can. Try your best. Stay healthy and be kind to each
other. Okay, I love that on so many levels. I think, first of all, she's just adorable, is she not? Pat, thank you very much for sharing that. The production work that went into that was beautiful. That was really, really well done. But I was seeing some really neat things in there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back up. Okay, and this time not with any audio. And I'm going to pause it. I want to, first of all, point out, did anybody else notice the license plate on the little rocket ship that she had made? Let me find it. Where's that rocket ship? Hold on. Where is that? There it is. Did you notice the license plate right there? Out of time. That's from Back to the Future. It's even a California plate. I love that. The other thing I love is look at that cardboard creation. When I was a kid, I could not wait for cardboard boxes to come into the house. And I would make rocket ships, and I would make time machines. I would make school buses. I would make garbage trucks. I would make anything. I loved cardboard boxes. And to see that this work, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And then you have some fun with it, with video. So Pat, thank you very much. Starting a new feature tonight. We're starting a new feature because so many of you are now realizing that you have got to, you've got to celebrate in isolation, right? So we're going to start celebrations today for our isolators. Here we go. Our first celebration is happy birthday, Carter, and a wish comes from his girlfriend's mother. Wow, Carter, way to impress. Ash Avery's mom sent me a note that her daughter is pretty bummed out about her birthday. We can't let that happen, right, everyone? Everyone wishes you a happy birthday and send her some good cheer. Lori says she shudders that she is celebrating her 48th birthday. I don't know why, you look great. 48 is the new 22, Lori. Audrey's sending anniversary wishes to Florida, where we find her good friends Joe and Robin, who are celebrating 42 years of marriage. Congratulations. Some sisterly love for Karina for her 40th birthday from her sister Azalea. And Rebecca, you mean a lot to a lot of people. She's a breast cancer survivor, is now tackling liver cancer. She celebrates her 40th birthday today. We all send our strength to you, Rebecca, and wish you a happy birthday. So please send me pictures and details of who is celebrating birthday in isolation, and let us help you send best wishes. Could be an anniversary, could be anything. I saw somebody on the comments say that somebody just had a new baby. So congratulations to that. So make sure you get that to me. We're going to do that every day. We're in this boat together, right? We're all in the same boat together. Let's just make the best out of it that we can. Just before we get to our guest and our talk about meditation, I do want to do some business. Remember, these are free commercials. These are commercials because I need you to support local businesses. And there's a great story behind this business. This couple took all their life savings, all of their life savings, and put it into their new business, a Colombian restaurant in Markham, about 2 years ago. And now they're being hit with this, and you know how hard it is. So they are our biz bump today, and I'm hoping that you can help Chef Alex Sandoval, still cooking up tastes of Colombia up in Markham. He says his aim is to represent his Colombian roots the best he can. That includes the best-known fresh-made empanadas in the GTA. Check out their menu at the TostonColombianCuisine.com or on Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, and DoorDash. So if you are going to be ordering out, try and order from some of the smaller places, some of the local places, and they're all on Skip the Dishes, Uber Eats, and DoorDash, and Foodora, and all of that. Okay, I have gone on enough. I have gabbed enough. It is time to bring up our guest. And thank you for waiting so patiently, Patricia. Dr. Patricia Rockman is back with us, family physician with a focused practice in mental health, associate professor at the University of Toronto, Department of Family and Community Medicine. She trains healthcare providers in stress reduction and cognitive behavior therapy, co-founder of the Center for Mindfulness Studies. And I had to take your bio and I had to shrink it. It went on for pages, so the court accepts that you are qualified, Dr. Rockman.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Look at this. I knew I was going to do this. I spelled your name wrong. I'm going to change that right now. Hold on. Why would I call you Dr. Rockland? Oops. All right. M-A-N. Rockman. There we go. All right. That is all fixed. Okay. The reason you are here today, once again, we are going to demystify meditation because we kind of think of meditation as you better take special courses and you've got to go to India and you've got to go to the top of a mountain and learn it from a guru or whatever. What is meditation really?
Okay, so that's an interesting question. I mean, I work in the area of mindfulness, which is a component of meditation. So you can think of meditation as the formal practice of mindfulness. So when you think of sitting down, closing your eyes, or focusing on the breath or your internal experience, we might think of this as a kind of meditation. There are many kinds of meditation, many kinds of contemplative practices, many different ones. So what has become really popular here in the West is mindfulness, which is, derived from a kind of meditation called insight meditation, and it has both a formal component and an informal component. So you can think of it really as paying attention to your experience in a particular way. So paying attention to your thoughts, your emotions, your body sensations, your urges or impulses to act or your behaviors. And it's deliberate and intentional. Like most of the time, we have the facility to function quite automatically, and we need that because, for example, if you were driving a car or a bicycle and you were constantly aware of every single component of that endeavor, then you might not get very far. So automatic pilot serves us. However, training to be able to be with and stay with your experience provides a number of benefits. But as you were saying at the beginning, you want to demystify it. And people think, meditation is about relaxing, or they think it's about emptying your head. And it really isn't about emptying your head. It's really about paying attention to what is here, without getting completely caught up and absorbed in it,
And that's where a lot of people become frustrated. They
right.
sort of say this, my mind is so busy and that. And by the way, folks, a little bit of a preview here. We're going to be led on a 3-minute, we call it a meditation, a mindfulness, a check, only 3 minutes. So you can spare 3 minutes in a bit. And Dr. Frankish guarantees you will feel 3 minutes better That's my personal guarantee. Okay, so why is it so important? Why is it so important to be in the present when it comes to dealing with anxiety and with stress?
Okay, and also depression, right?
And depression, yes.
Yeah, so if you think about anxious states and depressed states, anxious states, when we're anxious, we tend to be in the future. It's future focused, it's repetitive, it tends to be emergent or catastrophic, right? We're worried about what may come. We might call it what if thinking. Depressive states tend to pitch us into the past, and we can call that if only thinking, or if only this had happened. And depression tends to also get us into repetitive thinking, but we call it rumination. And both of these things, future focused and past focused thinking, of course, we spend a lot of time there, so very little time in the present. And the problem with things like worry or depressive states, rumination, you can think of these as problem-solving strategies that don't work, right? So people worry because they're trying to stave off something. Depressive thinking, you could argue, is we're trying to fix something that can't be fixed. So our thinking is very useful to us a lot of the time, but often it's not. So we want to be able to disrupt this. Mm-hmm. And so meditation and mindfulness-based practice help us to develop the skill to be able to disrupt this tendency to get completely immersed in our thinking. And if we can do that, then we have more options about what we do next instead of just being carried off by, our minds.
Okay, so there is something, I got this from the Mindfulness Center's Twitter account. You had put this photo across. Let me bring it up here. Hold on. There it is. It's all about what I can and what I cannot control. And before we get into the nitty-gritty of this, tell me the significance of what you can and what you can't control.
Okay, so one of the things that gets us into trouble is we tend to be controlled by what we like and what we don't like, right? We tend to do what we like and try to get away from what we don't like. And everybody knows, like, look at the situation we're in right now, where we're living in isolation in one form or another. This is a situation we can't control. So we have a few options here. We can rail against it. We can react against it. We can get really distressed about it. We can get really mad about it, sad about it, hopeless about it, and all of this kind of what we might call resistance in a situation that we really can't change causes us more suffering. What we can deal with in this situation is we can work with our attitude or how we approach what we're being faced with. We can get curious and interested in it. It doesn't mean we have to like it, but we can bring a different attitude and approach to it. So we're not making an already difficult situation worse, right? If we can control a situation, then we can bring our enormous problem-solving abilities to it, right? So we can think of different ways that we can work with a situation that we can control, whether that's problem-solving, whether that's, addressing it in a particular way, whether it's shifting an attitude, letting it go, whatever it is. But when we can't control a situation, really what we can work with is how we're responding to it, and to what degree can we accept what we're dealing with, knowing that we'll like it.
So let's look a little bit closer at this picture, because I think this says a lot, and I'm hoping that it may change some people's attitudes. So basically, everything that's in the moon or in the white circle that's lit up are things you can control. The ones in the grayish area are things you can't control. So essentially, if I cannot control if others follow the rules of social distancing, the actions of other, predicting what will happen, other people's motives. So by admitting that, what should we be doing once we've admitted that we can't control what others are doing?
So this is interesting, right? This is tricky because the things that you're talking about, for example, what it evokes is a strong moral imperative, right? So we tend to get caught up in how we think things should be or should not be, and that we're right. Okay, so something like social distancing, right? When you're saying like, okay, I can't control what those people are doing, but if we get too caught up in our rightness, then we are, propelled by that kind of moral imperative. And so then what we get really attached to is more about being right than about what's possible or about maintaining our equilibrium. Now, that's not, you have to be careful here, because that's not to say that we don't want to work against injustice. And maybe if somebody's not socially distancing, maybe you have to report it. Maybe this is the way one addresses it. But you can do that without all of the railing and reactivity that we tend to lay on top of things. It's kind of like a situation arises that we don't like. And so then what do we do next? Do we get really distressed and mad? Or do we say, okay, someone is breaking the rules here. Now what? Versus someone's breaking the rules here and now I want to go and scream at them and they're such a jerk and blah, 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 which just makes us more distressed. So it's not that we don't address things like injustice or things that are problematic. It's rather, how do we approach them? How do we come to them? Does that answer the question?
Most definitely. Most definitely. So the things it says that you can control. So you're going to focus on these things are my positive attitude, how I follow the CDC, Centers for Disease Control recommendations. This is an American chart. My own social distancing, not someone else's. Social media, turning off the news, all things that we have talked about. And when we take control, we're actually lessening anxiety.
Yeah, it's interesting. Control is an interesting word, because the way that when people are really anxious, the strategies they most commonly use are avoidance, control, and distraction. And I tend to think of, even though you could argue with me and say, this is just semantics, this is just some word game. When we're looking at mindfulness or meditative practice, I think of it more rather than control per se, because we can't control the conditions that we're in necessarily or what causes them. But we can give ourselves more options, more possibility. We can have more range of response. And I see that a little bit differently, because people often think, like when you meditate, you're just going to get completely blissed out, and that's the intention. And if you're not blissed out, it's like what you were talking about earlier, like, oh, my busy mind, I can't empty it. Well, that's not the point. The point is, the mind is busy. We note that. We observe that. We see that. Oh, okay, that's how it is right now. Without giving ourselves a hard time, we come back to whatever the intended object of focus is. Maybe it's the sensations of breathing. Maybe it's something else. So control, I like to think of what we're trying to do is less about control and more about increasing options and possibility.
Okay. Now, we are going to, and I will post that, folks. I will post that for you a little bit later on. Or if you just want to go to the Center for Mindfulness website, which is mindfulnessstudies.com. And then go to their Twitter account, and they've got a whole bunch of great information there. If you go there, if this is really interesting to you and you want to learn some more about controlling your own anxiety and your own stress and being more cognitive and in the moment, that's a great place to start. Tell me about the center a bit before we get into some meditation.
We've been around since 2011. We're a charity and a not-for-profit. We have 3 arms of work. One is to deliver mindfulness-based programs for people with depression, anxiety, and for stress reduction. We also train healthcare providers to deliver these programs. And then we have a community program in which we develop programs to provide people with service who have affordability and access issues. We also have a corporate arm where we do some work with businesses and other organizations. Yeah.
So I encourage people to check it out. I have been there. I have been at the center. I've used that. So I can definitely vouch for it. So check it out. I want to share with you an idea I had. I I talked over you. Go ahead.
Can I just say one thing? No, you didn't. I interrupted you.
Oh.
I just want to make a plug for our Managing Mindfully in an Uncertain World. We're going to have a 4-session series starting in a couple of weeks, and it's a pay what you can. It's on Tuesdays from 12:30 to 1:30.
And there you go.
Sorry
All
to
right.
interrupt.
No. That's important. That's important stuff. I had an idea, and my idea would be guaranteed to improve marks in school. It would be guaranteed to improve absenteeism. It's something I came up with called MECES. We have recess. But I think that every child, starting as young as in grade 1, you tell me if this is practical. Starting in grade 1, there is a section of every single day, a few minutes of every day, set aside for cognitive thinking and cognitive behavior and a meditation, or just some time, some reflective time. You know, we put the kids out at recess because we want them to exercise their bodies. But if we could teach people how to meditate, if we could teach people how to be reflective and in the moment from a young age so that it becomes natural, wouldn't that go a long way to helping things out?
Yeah, and there are lots of programs in the school system now that bring various mindfulness and meditative strategies into the school system. Not so much in the curriculum itself necessarily, but teachers are being trained to deliver it in the school system. So there's lots of schools that are actually bringing this into play. So you're right, it is there, and there are also a number of organizations and companies, of course, that are using this work. They use it more for performance than they do for mental health. And I think really the focus should be on mental health, but that would require, the bulk of the society acknowledging that 1 in 5 people have a mental health problem.
I would tend to argue, I bet you it's even higher. We're just now starting to understand mental health, I think, and really finally starting to recognize how to fix it, because I advocate all the time for mental health issues, and I have come to realize it's the number one health problem in the world, because mental health problems lead to heart disease. They have been linked to cancers. They have been linked to diabetes. Mental health problems have been linked to drinking problems, to marriage breakups, to crime, and there's all a common thread. So we need to take it more seriously.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure you know this, but depression is really, the number one cause of years lived with disability, and has great responsibility for absenteeism from work.
Okay, we are going to get into, now, what is this we're about to do? What is this?
Oh, so I think we did it last time, but we did it shorter.
Yeah.
So this is 3-minute breathing space from mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, which is one of the programs we teach for depression and anxiety and preventing depressive relapse. This is actually the practice that people do most frequently once the program is over. So it really, it's short, as you pointed out, but earlier it's 3 minutes. So It's a formal practice, and it's kind of a microcosm. It's sort of the spine of the program. And it's portable, and it's a way to check in with what's current for you and to start to learn how to direct and place your attention and how to explore. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody who is watching right now, I really invite you to participate and honestly give this a chance. Just for 3 minutes. That's all I'm asking, is just 3 minutes. And I've seen quite a few of your comments saying I've tried it before and I get frustrated, my mind is racing, et cetera, et cetera. We're all together right now. So we're turning things over to Dr. Rachman, and we are going to just spend 3 minutes slowing down and being in the moment. All right, it's all yours. Go ahead, Patricia.
And just before I start, remembering that meditation or mindfulness requires that we stop or slow down. It doesn't mean we clear our mind. It's rather that we begin to observe what's present. In fact, the expectation is you're going to have thoughts. All right, so coming into a position that embodies being alert and awake, and closing the eyes if that's comfortable for you, or taking a soft, half-open and receptive gaze a few feet in front of you on the floor. Becoming aware of the body sitting the chest rising, pubic bone descending, softening the jaw, the hands at rest, folded or in the lap, and the feet on the floor if you're sitting. And then turning your attention inward to what is here right now, checking in with current experience. What is here in thinking? What thoughts are around? What emotions, if any, perhaps naming them? And what bodily sensations are you aware of inside the body and at the surface of the skin? And just taking a few moments to get a handle on your internal landscape. Whatever it is, even if it's unwanted, this is the first step of the 3-minute breathing space. Then the second step is to gather the attention to narrow it to the physical sensations of breathing at the belly, attending to the movement of the breath in the abdomen, the rising of the breath, the expansion of the belly on the in-breath. It's releasing and deflation on the out-breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And then widening the attention now around the breath to any and all sensations in the body, bringing a kind of open monitoring to experience, to sensations as they arise, persist, and pass. Not seeking or scanning, simply open and receptive. Bringing a kind of spaciousness to experience if this is possible. Noticing the movement of attention into thinking, hearing, and coming back to being with body. And now, as we bring this practice to a close, opening the eyes if they've been closed and or widening the gaze, looking around your environment for a moment or so, and then coming back to our virtual space.
Okay. All right. I want to see some comments now that everybody's back. That was 3 minutes. Well, I mean, it felt longer a bit, but I mean in a good way. Like, it felt like, I feel a little bit refreshed. It wasn't that difficult. So now I'm just waiting. Everybody's coming back on. It was great. I think people were really doing it because the comments just stopped like that.
Okay.
All right. So let's start bringing some of the comments on then. So Carmen's the first one. It's relaxing from Patty. Here's Diana who says, "I don't want to open my eyes." And it is so true. And once you can convince yourself that it's okay that your mind is wandering and how you bring it back, I think that's the biggest hurdle people have to get over, right?
Yeah, you see, like how we judge ourselves is such a big obstacle, And if you really understand that the point isn't to get rid of your thinking, but rather to see it, changes the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me just, I'm just going to pull this back here 1 second. I am having technical nightmare. I want my computer to meditate. 1 second here, folks. All of a sudden here, I'm going to take it here just for a quick second. Maybe if you could detach there, Parker, if you could, because I'm not going to get it back until you do. Hold on. There we go. Okay, I've got it back now. People don't even realize what's going wrong, Kevin. What's going on? Yeah. So, okay, there are tons of people. I don't want to open my eyes either. That's from Jennifer. There's another Jennifer. This is Jennifer Beck. A peaceful feeling, relaxing. And now, if I do this, and I do this every day, what's been your experience in seeing substantial change in yourself?
Okay, so for me, this is probably a little bit too much self-disclosure, but about 5 years ago, I had breast cancer, and so I had, chemo, mastectomy, radiation, the whole 9 yards. And, it was interesting because I really couldn't, sit for long periods of time, but I did tons and tons of 3-minute breathing spaces. And because that's all I could really do. And so what you were talking about initially about feeling refreshed, it's a check-in. It became a way to really disrupt my, mind from moving into the future, a future that had not come, and kind of reining things back in, and also as a way to train my attention to disrupt it and to be with what was here versus what I imagined might be here, or to also separate from, if there was too much distress, for example, and a way to regulate. So my experience has been that it's a way to provides you with a portable tool that has a number of possibilities. So allows us to reset, allows us to really figure out what's actually going on with us, again, so that we have some other options. So if I do a 3-minute breathing space and I'm super fatigued, this becomes a source of information. Maybe you need to rest, for example, or like you were talking earlier, like if you did it and your mood is really crappy, maybe you need to do something to take care of yourself, or if whatever it is, or maybe you need to seek support somewhere. So it becomes a way of bringing what is current to the surface. So then you have a way of addressing whatever is showing for you. And sometimes maybe it's a way of just really taking notice of what is pleasurable and what is joyful and, like that.
Well, congratulations on waging that war and waging that battle and winning it.
I'm alive.
Yeah. And better for it. You're stronger. So I want to thank you for this. Once again, let's remind people about the Mindfulness Studies website, mindfulnessstudies.com. What are people going to find there?
Oh, they'll find lots of personal programs. They'll find resources. There's meditations. There's things to read. There's our various courses and programs. If you're a clinician or healthcare provider or somebody who wants to study MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction for your professional reasons, or mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, you'll find courses there. Or if you want to take an 8-week program or something more introductory, we have lots of programs there. And everything's online now because, of course, nobody can meet face-to-face.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Sorry, continue.
I was just going to say that it actually is surprising, but I guess, you're having that now as well, and you were talking about that in the beginning, that it really does provide a way for people to connect. And we do feel part of a community. So thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you so much. And please come back. I think we're going to be in this isolation a little bit longer, and we could all use your strength.
Thank you. I'm happy to come anytime.
All right. Thank you very much. Dr. Patricia Rockman talking to us. She is from the Center for Mindfulness Studies and talking about meditation. And I have to tell you, just you can sometimes get a little bit, well, overwhelmed by meditation. I think for too long we've thought of meditation as being something that you have to have special training for, and you have to have a special mind for it, and you have to have an incredibly strong mind to No. I'm gonna let me tell you a few things that I've learned as I've gone along, because I've done so much reading and so much research on mental health since my diagnosis years ago. When you see on TV, and I hope you haven't seen it in person, but when you see on TV, you see paramedics or doctors or nurses using the paddles, and they shock the heart. And what do we say? We say, oh, they're restarting the heart. No, they're not. Exactly the opposite. Remember what they're called. They're called defibrillators, because your heart is fibrillating. It's supposed to go like this, right? It's supposed to go like that, but it's fibrillating. It's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. The heart knows what it's supposed to be doing. It has memory muscle. It knows what it's supposed to be doing, but sometimes it's just getting out of whack. So they take these paddles and they shoot you with the electricity to stop your heart, because the idea being is that your heart knows what to do. So your heart's fibrillating. Hit it with the paddles. Stop. And hopefully your heart will do this. Get back into proper rhythm. And that's what we want to do with meditation, with being in the moment. And that's why they say concentrate on your breath, because it's one thing that is here and now. It's not something you're thinking about tomorrow or that. That's where anxiety comes from. Anxiety comes from, I'm worried about tomorrow, I'm worried about next week, I'm worried when I'm going to be out of isolation. And yes, there are legitimate worries about your job, about your home, about your pay. There are legitimate worries. But there's always time for that. What's here? What's now? I want you to hit yourself with those defibrillators. I want you to just stop. Because then you can do this, and you can handle those problems better in the future. And it's as simple as just closing your eyes and listening to your breath to begin with. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. And if you have to, a lot of times, count, saying, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, I'm breathing out, I'm breathing out, I'm breathing out, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing. Because now you're distracting your mind. You're just concentrating on your breath. And remember what Julie Tom, who was the personal trainer we had on before, had said, here's a good way to distract your mind and to do breathing and to be in the moment, is to take your hand. And you're going to breathe in, and then you're going to breathe out, breathe out. And as you're doing it, you're going in and out. And you're going to go around your hand like this. Now, what you're doing is you're not thinking about tomorrow. You're not thinking about next week. You're not thinking about the problems that you have. They're going to be there, okay? They're going to be there. Your worrying is not going to change anything. You need that time. You need that time just to breathe, and not just once a week. You need that every day. And as Dr. Rockman had said, 3 times a day with a 3-minute exercise would be fantastic, but at least once a day. And a lot of people have been saying, how do you do it in the middle of a panic attack? Kelly says, okay, I've done it. It's not easy, but when anxiety just mounts up on you, you know what you do, Kelly? You dig your heels in. You stand your ground against anxiety. And you say, you know what? You can go on with this anxiety attack, okay? Right now, I'm going to listen to my breath. And it's tough. It can be hell. But it works. Stand your ground. You need to do this for yourself. And this is a really tough time. It's so beautiful out, isn't it? It's such a beautiful, beautiful day out. It would be nice to go down to a pub and see some friends. It would be nice to know that tomorrow you're going to see people at school or at work, and this weekend there's a big party planned. Yeah, it's tough. We don't have that stuff right now. We can't control that. Remember, let's bring up that picture again if we could. What can you control? What can't you control? I can't control some things, so I let go of them. I can control my attitude. I can control finding fun things to do at home. It sounds like a bunch of malarkey. I know it sounds like a bunch of malarkey, but it works. It works. So again, I will put that on my website or on my Twitter account and Facebook account after as well. This has been a very interesting. This has been a very, very interesting show. And I think, let me just look at the viewership. Yeah, I think you guys have found it interesting as well. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for staying with me. I want to go back to, where's my biz bump? Oh, here it is. Let's roll that again, Parker, shall we? Let's do that again. This is a lovely couple. Chef Alex Sandoval is still cooking up tastes of Colombia in Markham. He says his aim is to represent his Colombian roots the best he can, and that includes the best-known fresh-made empanadas in the GTA. I hope I said that right. I love how they taste. I just always say things wrong. Check out their menu at the TostonColombianCuisine.com or on Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, and on DoorDash. These people took all of their life savings 2 years ago and put it into this this business, and they were doing well. And then this hits, and for any small business person, this could be death. And I don't want that to happen to as many businesses as we can help. So if you're going to order tonight, why not order from some of the smaller guys instead of the big ones? All right, so keep that in mind. Tomorrow, right here on the program, Sarah Marlowe is going to be here. She is a clinical social worker, going to talk about juggling home, work, and kids. She has some great advice for parents at this time. And Friday, we celebrate and support the front line, from nurses and doctors to paramedics to firefighters to police, to everybody. We're going to talk not just about thanking them, but we're going to talk about supporting them and their need to take care of their mental health as well. We have a whole list of resources that are available to our emergency crews and our first responders and to our doctors and nurses. And so that's coming up on Friday. Do we want to see? Let's see Willow's commercial again, shall we? Let's go up and see it. Watch this.
My name is Willow. When I grow up, I want to be an astronaut and go to all the planets. Jupiter, Mercury, Venus. I like to see Mars. Earth is my favorite. I built a spaceship to travel to the future. I learned if we stand 5, everything is going to be okay. Please stay home if you can. Try your best. Stay healthy and be kind to each other.
That's fantastic. This is my favorite comment of the night, folks, right here. Sandy, thank you for this, as I was feeling very down tonight. You know, it can be as simple as being with friends, right? I'm looking at you're looking at the list, same as me at the comments, and that you're with friends, you're with family, and you're doing something for yourself, and you're realizing that if you just spend a few minutes, spend some time with us, the problems will be there when you come back. Yeah, they will. But just for a few minutes, can't you just be in the moment and realize that there's a lot of good and there's a lot of good people in this world? So I guess we will see you tomorrow night. And now, more than ever, I really want you to take care of yourself and take care of each other. We'll see you tomorrow.
COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even have a snack. Hey coronavirus, I want my life back. Well, hey coronavirus, I want my